Welcome, Hearthstoners, to another exciting episode of Jester vs. Season 6 in Hearthstone. I'm playing Grommash Meta Control, which is a build that's similar to Baron and Friends, only with staples. And we're currently queuing up for another ranked play early on in the season. You can find the deck at hearthpwn.com. Don't forget to leave your questions, comments, and ratings. And I'll be sure to answer as much as I can as I have the opportunity. Our opponent this time is Grommash. It's probably a mirror match, but it could very well be a Colma control build or something like that. We'll see early on. You want to mulligan away anything that isn't low cost, 2 or less. And then even some other things like Shield Slam isn't going to do you very good opening. So you'd mulligan that away as well. But we did get a Fiery War Axe, which is a good card to start with, and we draw an Unstable Ghoul, which isn't bad. We're going to pass a turn. Now, in mirror matches, they tend to go to fatigue. So whoever wins the armor war and gets more value from their shield slam tends to walk away the victor. But there are other mitigating circumstances as well, like who drew the most cards happens to lose in mirror match. So you want to use your cards efficiently, but don't dig through your deck. You also want to not tilt your hand. So by going to the face with the axe here, I'm telling him I might not have Alex. So he's going to have to play based on the concept that I'm going to either rush him, maybe. I might not be a control build, I might be an aggro build. He's still questioning, and it's early on enough in the game to where that might cause an influence. He's got armor, let's take it away. Drop a ghoul. Now he can't come to my face with his axe because of my ghoul, so my armor's pretty much safe and his is inexistent. So far I'm winning the armor war. I'm losing the card war, but as I said before, if this is a mirror match, which it's shaping up to be, you really don't want to be drawing too many cards. You just want to make efficient use of the ones you have. He just drew one with his Acolyte. Coins out an Unstable, and we could pretty much be sure at this point that it's a mirror. In fact, he might even be playing Grommash Meta Control. There's the Belcher. Now he has some choices to make. He's playing Slam. This means that it is not Grommash Meta Control. It's some variation of Warrior Control. And Slam is an inefficient card for the most part. But I did like to see the fact that he drew another card in. That puts him at 7. And another Acolyte. Oh, we could take advantage of this. He's filling his hand quite quickly. If we take out that ghoul, we can force him to go to 9 cards. And then we could possibly burn from his deck some of his legends, some of his late game legends, which would be the same as removal in that case. If we can burn some legends from his deck, that's another viable tactic, especially since he seems to be so hell-bent on drawing cards. We have the armor. Our shield slams will be useful. He has no armor. Any shield slam he has in his hand is worthless. So even though he has a 1-point Acolyte out, that Acolyte might be his undoing. If I can cause him to burn, say, an Alex or a Grommash, he just covered it up with a Belcher. That's okay, I got a pair of Taskmasters, I can still double ping it and put him over the 10-card limit. And I think I'm going to do just that. Yeah, he's got a lot of cards there. If we can burn something worthwhile, would it be worth it? Would the Taskmaster, being a form of removal at that point, be strong? The answer is yes. Warrior has precious few commodities for removal. They only have Shield Slam and Execute for the most part. Slam doesn't really count because it has to be coupled up for the most part. Here we go. So, let's make him draw 2 cards. He burns a Belcher. I didn't really want to see him burn a Belcher because I'm running the Black Knight. And without Belchers in the deck, and there goes his second Belcher, the Black Knight loses its potency. That means that the only time that that Black Knight's going to be valuable is if I can hit a ghoul with it. He burns a Fiery War Axe as well. That really wasn't a threat. So we filled his hand. He's going to have to drop some cards, but we filled his hand. We burned a Belcher and a Fiery War Axe out of his deck. But that's not the end of it. Well, what we also did was we ate away some of his deck to where he's going into fatigue before we do. So health at this point becomes less of a factor. Armorsmith. Health being less of a factor. A second slam! I can't say that I've seen a build yet that was viable that had 2 slams, but you know what? To each his own. Some people like to play specific cards that are, well, substandard. And slam is definitely one of them. I mean, it has its uses, don't get me wrong. But usually the use that you're going to be putting to it would be better served elsewhere. Argent Commander. Okay. Now we have a board to take care of. He's still gaining value from that Armorsmith, but the value's kind of mitigated by the fact that this game isn't going to come down to a matter of health so much as it will fatigue. He didn't attack with his Armorsmith. That was a mistake. Well, let's trade some of our armor to get rid of the minion. Go back to playing control. Go back to patience. Go back to owning the board. Even though he has massive card advantage on us, he can only cast so many spells per turn. And I'm not really worried about any of them. He's also 7 cards less than I am in his deck. Ragnaros is a threat, but one that I'm willing to take because, again, health isn't that big of a deal right now. Let's see what Wasara gives us. Yeah. Now we don't want to use our Death's Bite here because that rattle, while it will take care of the Armorsmith, it'll also ping our creature and put her within execute range in case he has one in his hand. And I'd rather he spend his own minions to put her in execute range, like that Taskmaster there. There's the execute. So now we still have our Death's Bite, and he had to waste what could have been a surprise tactic later in order to deal with Wasara. We did get Awakens out of her beforehand, though, which is a very, very powerful spell. And we do have means to take care of Rag. We cast the Awakens. It's going to wipe the board, putting Rag at 3. If we go to the Dome with the Death's Bite, it'll be at 2, and then our Armor Up will get him with the Shield Slam. Go to the face, lower the armor, drop Rag to 2, Armor Up, hit Rag, drop a Belcher. We now have board control. We don't have card advantage, but he has less value in his deck. He's probably going to take control back, but I'm not really worried about it. Again, we're going to win this fatigue war by a long shot because of how deep he's into his deck. The Black Knight, oh, that hurts. But it's not game-breaking, but it hurts. Armorsmith and a Ghoul. He can have all the health he wants. I don't really care, because when it comes down to fatigue, what we're really going to be looking at is... Yes. When it comes down to fatigue, what we're really going to be looking at is who has the board presence that can chop away that armor and health faster than the other person. And I believe I'm going to be the guy with the board presence. he's going to have to take out the slime before he does anything else. Shield Slam. He's trying to regain board control, which he does. I don't agree with him going to the Armor Smith there. I would have gone to the face to try and lower a potential Shield Slam on my part. But that's okay, that was his decision. This is a great time to brawl. If Sylvanas does not survive, then it was a wasted minion. All the rules were met for it. It was a very sound brawl. And our Death's Bite follow-up made sure that it cleared the board completely. We're also ready with the Death's Bite, or the Death Rattle from the Death's Bite. If he does play Harrison or something of that nature, it's going to suck, but it'll at least do a point of damage before it goes. Kor'kron Elite. Yeah, this is a more aggro-based build. Dual slams, a Kor'kron Elite. I'm not so sure. It's just not. It's not a great 2 Kor'kron Elites. Yeah, it's just it's not a great option for Warrior Control, which is looking to go to the end game. This is more of a mid-range warrior, it would seem. Let's heal myself up. But even in being a mid-range warrior, he's making a few not-so-great choices in cards. Like, in mid-range warrior, he might want a Frothing Berserker in the 3 spot. He might want a Whirlwind, an actual, castable Whirlwind instead of Slam, especially instead of dual slams. He seems to have less legends available. Maybe he's trying to play a Warrior Control without the Arcane Dust backing, which I've seen plenty of times before as well. But again, I'm still not worried about this. It's a matchup that's going to go to Fatigue. He has far less cards than I do. He has far fewer options available. And I have a live Sylvanas in play. The Ghoul will make sure that his Elite has something different to slam into. But I'm going to get rid of it anyway, because if he does have a form of removal there for the Ghoul, I was looking mighty mortal. Shield blocks up. Look at all that health he's got. I'm still not worried about it. It's really it's a moot point, a moo point. It's a cow's opinion. That health is going to be meaningless shortly. He's got a Death's Bite in play, both charges. We'll go to the face with Garrosh or Grommash. Now, you don't really want to cast Grommash without an activator, but I feel that in him only having 2 cards left in his deck, and now both in his hand, he's on a serious clock. I've got plenty of cards left in my deck, and they're all viable threats. He can't afford to use that Death's Bite on Grommash, so he just sits out there as a danger until I do decide to activate him. Oh, Karn. See, look at this. That health just whittles away as I produce more threats. Yeah, he can't do anything about it.